Everyone, welcome back to the next video. In this video I will show you how you can apply black and white or grayscale filter to a live camera preview and image capture in Expo React Native for Android using Camera X and Media 3 effect. So let's get started. So first I'll show you guys the output. I have recorded the output. Here is the output, so I'll just play this particular video. So here you can see it is asking for camera permission first, then it shows the live camera preview. So I'm moving my camera. Here you can see everything is black and white or in grayscale. Then I'll just click on this capture button as well. It will capture the image and show display it inside an image view for us over here. So now let's see the code. So here what the next step is, to create an Expo React Native project. So you can just run this command inside your terminal and it will create an Expo React Native project for you. It will ask you for your app name, just give it some app name. Now just to quickly show you the documentation as well, there are multiple ways to create an Expo React Native project. I'm using this blank TypeScript template as you can see over here, but if you want you can use all these other templates as well. The reason I'm using this blank TypeScript template is because it creates a blank less boilerplate code with TypeScript support. That's why. Okay, once that is done, you need to go to this URL over here. So like I said, will be writing native code. I'm not using any third-party library. Also the Expo version which I'm using is 53.0.2. Unfortunately, the Expo guys have still not updated to React Native 80, which has been released a month ago from the time me recording this video, but they still haven't updated it. I don't know why, but anyways, for our case this is fine. There I don't think there will be any breaking changes as such. So just go to this URL next. So here you will have to select Android device, select development build, and I have already done all these steps. So here you will have to select your own operating system. I have already ran this command. I have set the Java home as well. I've also set up Android Studio as well. So if you haven't done this, you will have to follow this documentation, then do this particular bit of stuff, then do this particular bit of stuff. Then you will have to cd to your application, so the Expo React Native application inside your terminal, the cd to my app or whatever is your Expo React Native project name, and then just run this command. So this will install this Expo dev client dependencies as well. So you'll have to run this command. Once you run this command, you will have to run this command over here, npx expo run android. Once you run this command, you should see this Android folder being created for you. It will also ask you like, do you want to run your application on a simulator or a real device? So you don't have to run it. You can just press Ctrl C. We'll run it at the very end once the application is done. Once we finish writing code, because we will be writing native code, right? So you can't just hot reload or hot refresh. You will have to run it from the start, so no point in running it now. Okay, then we need to create this module. So for that you need to go to this particular documentation. Like I said, this is only for Android, so we are not concentrating on iOS. So I'll open it inside a new tab, and here you can see you first need to run this command. Okay, then it will ask you some questions like what should be the module name. Don't enter anything, just press enter. That's it, and it will give you this. It should create this folder for you, modules, my module. That's it. Okay, now I'll just close this. Now a few things which you need to do. So first you need to go to the src folder, go to my module.type.ts, and here you can see this is the URL. Like, this is the thing which we will use for sending, this key we will be using for sending the image URL from native Android side to Expo React Native side. Okay, now here I have commented this particular thing out. Now this all thing was present by default. I have not added this by myself. I will tell you what I have changed. I have commented these two things out. Now don't get confused by this URL and this URL. This URL is for sending the data back from native Android side or from native side to Expo React Native side, and this basically is a prop. We are not using any prop, so I've commented this out. And this particular thing is same what I have written over here. I have just changed the name on image taken just so that it makes more sense in our case. That's why. That's the only thing which I have changed. Okay, and I don't think I have changed anything inside my module. Just check once. I think this should be the same for you as well. Then once that is done, you need to go to the Android folder. You need to go to build.gradle, and here you need to add this dependencies block. So here you need to add this camera core, then this camera 2, camera lifecycle, camera view, then Android X camera media 3 effect, which is still in alpha at the time of me recording this video, and this media 3 effect as well. If this library does become stable, make sure you use the stable version. Then Android X app compat 1.7.0 as well. Okay, once you add all this, you need to go to the main Android folder, go to app, src main android manifest.xml, and here you can see we need to add two things. First is this uses feature of android hardware camera as well as this camera permission, so make sure you add these two things. Now we also require this write external storage, but this was added by default when we create an Expo React Native project, so I don't need to add it. Okay, and also the internet permission is a good thing to do. Okay, once that is done, let's just see how to use it. We'll see the implementation in a bit. So just go to app.tsx, and here are all the imports which I have written, so feel free to pause the video and copy all these imports. Then here we have one state for image URL, one state just to check whether camera permission was granted or not. Then here I am just checking whether the Android version is greater than 10 or not, greater than equal to 10, because from Android 10 we don't require the write external storage permission. So that's what I'm doing over here inside this method. Depending on the Android version, we are asking for the required permission, and here you can see once the permission has been granted, we just change the state of this particular variable over here as well. Okay, and inside use effect we just call this particular method over here. Once image URL is not equal to empty, then we'll just display the image using the image React Native image element. If it is empty, like at the default it is empty, and if camera permission is granted, then we just display this camera preview as well as our capture button. Else we just say display a text saying camera permission not granted, and these are the styles for that particular thing as well. Okay, then again you need to go to module, my module, go to src java, and here you first need to go to my module.kt. Okay, first you need to add this particular import. Now why we need to add this? Because we need to annotate this my module @unstable API. This is because this media 3 effect libraries are bit like this is an alpha, right? But this unstable API is because of this particular library. Even though this is stable, the API is bit unstable. This is one of the quirks of Android development. Hopefully by the time you guys watch this video, they hopefully resolve this issue, but at least at the time of me recording we need to add this. Okay, and rest everything I have kept it as it is. Then just scroll down, and here inside my module we have commented this out because we are not passing any prof. So to comment out things in Kotlin, you just have to add this // and here also I have commented this out, events on load, and here I have this events on image taken, because that's the type which we are using over here, right? That's why I'm using events on image taken. That's the only change which you need to make. Now let's see the actual code on how to do this. To open my module view.kt, now in this particular file you already will have some code inside this particular class. Just delete all of that code, just keep this class, everything else just delete it. Now these are all the imports, so feel free to pause the video and just copy all these imports which I have. Now here we have marking this class with @unstable because we are using the media 3 API in this particular class. Now given that this particular class is referenced inside my module.kt, that's why my module.kt was also marked as unstable. Then here we have this on image taken event which will help us to send data back to React Native side. Here we get hold of our current activity. Then here we have this frame layout, here we have camera, this is the preview, and this is the image capture, and here is our button as well, this is the preview. Then here we have the camera executor service, here is our process camera provider as well, and here we have the back facing lens. Then here we set the layout params for our frame layout, add it to our parent view. Then this is the viewfinder, basically the camera preview for which we set the layout params, and then we call install hierarchy filter where we pass the viewfinder, and to I'll come back to this why what exactly this is. Then we add the viewfinder to our frame layout. Then we set the text of our button background color, text color as well as alpha. Then here we just do frame layout dot layout params. Then we just do capture button dot layout params, passing in the button params, and then we add our capture button to our frame layout as well. And for the capture button we add a click listener called take photo. Then here we override two method on attach to window, and if we have the camera permission then only we do setup camera, and on detach from window we shut down our camera executor as well as we unbind our camera provider, and here we call this particular method over here as well. Now why we are calling this method? So for this you will have to go to this particular issue. So this issue has been open in React Native's repo since past 8 years. They still have not fixed it. That's why this is basically a hack which we need to do, because if you don't write this particular bit of code, you won't be able to see your live camera preview and you will just see a black screen. Then here we call setup camera where we get hold of our process camera provider as well as we add a listener to it. Then here we call this bind camera use case, where we get the viewfinder width and height as well as the rotation, and here we get our camera selector as well. Here we define our aspect ratio strategy as well as resolution selector. Here is our camera preview view. Here is our image capture as well. Here we define the use case group builder. Here is our media 3 effect, and here we just do RGB filter dot create grayscale filter. So this is, we will actually generate the black and white camera preview. Then we add the media 3 effect to our use case group builder. We unbind our camera provider, we get hold of our camera, we assign it to this object. Then inside take photo, we get hold of our image capture. Here we use simple date format. Then inside content values, we pass the display name, MIME type, and if Android version greater than P, we also set the relative path. Then we do image capture dot output file options. Then we do image capture dot take picture. Here we override on image saved. Here we get the URI of the saved image, which we send it back to React Native side. Here we unbind our camera provider. Here we just check whether we have the required camera permissions or not, and here we just have few variables, one called tag and one called file name format. So yeah, that's all there is to it. If you have any questions, do let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching. Bye.